This conference will now be recorded.
Being 6 o'clock on January 15th, we'll bring the Tilton Budget Committee to order. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You want to run through the minutes quick, or?
I read them. I have no
You have
issues.
two sets because you
Yes,
tabled
right,
it.
right. I just reviewed them both online before I came down. So.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of December 18th as presented.
Second.
And do you want to do December 11th too? I don't know if we did those.
I don't have that one.
Don't either.
We haven't.
You didn't,
The
you want me to get another
4th was the
copy?
last.
No, it's
Should be in
okay.
the
I
Yeah,
read
we did
them
the
on the
11th
last
and the
time we were
18th.
here.
That we
One I
didn't.
have is the 18th.
Oh, that's right. It's probably in here because we had them.
Yeah.
Oh, look
The
at that.
on the
December
11th, we met with Public Works and the police and Scott Hilliard and Tim.
You want to do them together, you mean?
So make a motion.
right.
Approve them both at once?
Yeah.
One motion? Is that your motion, Joe? To approve both?
Whatever you want to do.
Sure. I'll second the motion
Okay.
to accept December 11th, 2024 and
Mine.
December 18th, 2024. Discussion.
None.
Everyone think they've been through them and feel good enough about that? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed? There's
When
opposed?
we have somebody online, I
Oh,
think we have to
okay.
do- we have to
John.
do roll call.
Okay.
That's right.
Oh,
Okay.
that's right.
We do have to do roll call.
I'm actually,
That's the-
we should actually do them separately. I have to abstain from one of them and not the other one. I wasn't at the 11th.
Yeah, you don't have to abstain from those.
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah,
can still
yeah.
vote on minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Um,
John to go first.
Okay, so a roll call vote. We'll start with the online with John Hanson.
Aye.
Okay. Next, Deb Shepherd.
Shepherd, aye.
Aye.
Dembitsky, aye.
Christine, Bill, Lawrence, aye.
Brown, aye.
Joe Jessman, aye.
All right. Any, no, there's nobody left.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's continue with the, so we were supposed to get an update on police, right? Because I think that's where we left off.
We got an email update.
Yeah, there's an email in here. So police.
Okay, yeah, this is this one here.
It actually worked out because they did quite a bit of work on the Selectmen. So.
Yeah, I can bring you up to date if you like.
Sure.
So specifically regarding the police budget, the chief, in discussing with Scott and me, it became apparent that by the time the two offers come to fruition, that they won't be able to start before March, a March timeframe. So I removed January and February wages and benefits, and that reduced the budget by $36,054 for the PD, which you can see the last that the board had seen, pardon me, was $2,572,11, and now the department request is reduced to $2,533,775, and some other just some other changes in the budget. The new hire started in Public Works. Those actuals are now in the department request column. And then there were other changes that were enumerated in the email that I sent on January 7th. Minor changes, $650 removed from the administration budget because tax map updates are now going to be paid for by the applicants. The change to town clerk tax collector, an encumbrance for the actuarial costs in the finance that reduced that by about $1,800. In IT with the Belknap County migration, we're going to save $1,639 in software fees this year. There were no changes in land use, health, and welfare. Public Works, as I mentioned, had the new hire in. And then in culture and recreation, the board had lowered the library by $10,000 and in outside agencies. They voted on all the outside agencies. They lowered the Community Action Program by 3,700, lowered the Pines by 35,000, lowered Twin Rivers back to its 2024 amount, which was $500, and zeroed out CASA and Greater Lakes Child Advocacy Center. They also voted on all the warrant articles and sewer commission. So that kind of brings you up to date as to where they are. So if you look in terms of what the budget, on the first page, what the budget committee has voted on and what the department requests are, you'll see that several of them have department requests that are less than what the budget committee last voted on. Pardon me.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, finance is lower.
Some are.
So we could, if we wanted to vote, change our vote to lower to go with the selectmen's, we could do that, just because those are decreases that we hadn't foreseen, particularly in the administration and
Finance,
finance, right?
IT.
Land use,
Land use,
IT's higher.
IT,
IT is less.
Oh, we're higher. You're right.
yeah.
Like, I'm sick, but I know what I'm reading.
Public Works is a little higher for the Board of Selectmen than ours.
I do expect them to vote the
That's be-
department request now that the employee
Because of
is
the new employee.
fully loaded. Yeah,
Okay.
but they'll be looking at that tomorrow night.
At Public Works.
Station, health and welfare.
Well, they still requested 819. We're at 807.
812 is what they're at.
Selectmen's at 812.
You're right, because
The
they
department
hired
is 819.
because they added the higher. Now, when you deduct the police salary, does that include health
It
and
does.
benefits
Yeah, it
and
shows
taxes?
10 months out of 12
Okay,
for all those things. The taxes are based off the wages, as is New Hampshire retirement and life disability, all that. So the wages are calculated based on the 10 months, and the health insurance is based on 10 months as well. Health and
All the
dental.
taxes, right? The payroll taxes.
All the payroll taxes are based off of the wages,
Yeah.
which are 10 months. Yeah.
so the police have 2 retirement accounts and everyone else just has 1, is that right?
There's a group 1 and a group 2. Group 1 is essentially non-arrest powers, non-patrol, so administrative. Dispatch. Those are group 1. Group 2 are pretty much people that carry guns and can arrest people.
Group 2, you don't pay in Social Security. You just pay in more into retirement.
That's right.
What was that?
They
Group
pay
2, because I'm in
Medicare.
Group 2 working for the prison.
Okay,
You don't pay any, so they don't take out Social Security, but they put more into your retirement account.
okay.
The difference.
Chief is on if you want to ask him. If you want to ask about the
Did
retirement.
that just change?
No, I was just curious.
Something just changed with that.
The rates went down slightly, but it's been structured like that for a long time. So Group 1 has a much lower rate. The Group 1 rate is around 13.53%. Group 2 rate is around 31 and change.
It's a higher risk job is how they look at
Okay,
it.
sure. Yeah, I just noticed that the difference and I wasn't clear on why there was a
But
difference.
also the vast majority of employees at the PD, the majority of them are in Group 2.
Okay, yeah. Is there someone online that wants to make a comment?
Well, you had a question about the police, so that's why I just,
Oh, okay.
he could give you the
Yeah,
real.
Chief
answer, but-
Gilman and John are the 2 online.
Okay, yeah, I see.
So Chief Gilman.
You're muted right now.
Yes.
I was wondering about the detective patrolman hires. I know that we can't have them till at least March. Are we going to actually get them in March?
Yes, the detective, he'll be good to go at probably the beginning of March, and the patrolman position, I need to have a talk with a board tomorrow, non-public. So I'd like to speak on that tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
If that changes, I'm sure we'll adjust it, right? Tim?
I'm sure the Board of Selectmen will adjust their numbers.
Yeah.
So,
Do we want to raise Public Works to the selectmen's because they have a higher? Is that why that's?
Which line?
It's up to $5,000.
Which line accounted for that, Tim? Do you know?
Well, the wages and benefits, mostly the benefits.
Because of the part-time guy, right?
Full-time, the new full-time
Oh,
hire.
the new full-time guy.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
'Cause
That's the
they-
difference
yeah.
right there.
Sure. I mean, that's not much. So
No, it's
No,
one guy that we were trying to hire, but again, we don't want to raise any money we don't have to.
yeah, I mean,
Apparently, we have a guy now.
And we had the position budgeted. It's just we didn't have the exact, insurance plan, the
Uh-huh.
exact wage, at the time that the draft budget was in. So this is reflective of what's actually there now. The 812,584.
And everything else seems to match, so.
so how do we arrive at insurance these days? I mean, I was just noticing how much percentage of the budget that is. It's like it adds 20% to most of the.
Tim
Wages.
negotiates with the insurance people.
Well, not on health insurance. It's really based on the group experience.
Right.
And they provide the rates in October.
I mean, are there different companies that you go out to bid for, or for
There are
consultants?
the
that would,
board hasn't done that recently, but the plan that we have, part of it is dictated by the collective bargaining agreement and how it prices increases. So those in the union pay a certain percentage over any percent increase. So anything over 5% increase, they pay that difference over and above that. And we've had years when we've had decreases in health insurance, increases in health insurance. And what matters more than the rates is who we hire and what plans they're on is really what that amounts to. So,
I mean, like HSAs, for example,
We have those.
that's like a retirement account if you don't get sick. So it's but
Well, so the board has never approved an HSA, but we do have HRAs and SOS plans, which are higher deductible and lower cost to the town.
mhm.
And we also encourage people to buy out where they can, and the town provides buyouts for people. And we have a number of people on medical buyouts as well. So, but then somebody has a baby, now they're a family plan, things happen. And we have a whole cross section across the, employees, different circumstances. So it's kind of hard to know what's going to happen until open enrollment. I'm sure Deb would tell you.
And the rates don't usually go down in October. Some years you get a 10% increase, some years you get a 3%. You don't really know.
Right.
Like he said, it depends on the group.
Sure.
Do you guys have health trust?
Mhm.
Yeah, they're one of the bigger ones, but you just don't know until October. Depends on how all the towns that participate in that, how they perform.
Right.
So you're kind of at their mercy.
Yep.
They never really go down.
Yeah, I know.
So is it the Board of Selectmen or the department request that encumbers the new full-time employee?
So the full-time employee is now hired.
Right, but it's 819,584 department request. Selectmen was 812. Which
Right.
one has the full-time in it?
So the 812
Okay.
incorporates that because there were some other changes that were reduced from the department request originally.
So we need to motion to
Yeah.
raise our appropriation to match the selectmen.
Yeah,
Um,
812,584.
at least through
Well, you don't want to do them all. You don't
No,
want to
I
do,
checked, they all match except for all the wage stuff.
And this
The
new Board of
miscellaneous
Selectmen,
expense is different.
Oh,
does
I meant
that,
for public works. I thought we were on one.
does the Board of Selectmen that include the changes from the police?
no, no, that does not. They have not seen the reduction for the 2 months. So you would want to, if you were going to consider one, you want to look through the department request column in the police budget because that incorporates the 10 months of the detective and 10 months of the patrol officer.
Deb made a motion on public works.
Pardon
I
me?
kind of did make a
Sorry.
motion.
That's okay. She made a motion to accept 812.
Well, I was going to just
Didn't even
go
hear.
and accept all of these that are
Oh,
voted by the,
Okay, I didn't really make a motion. I just said, is that what we need to do?
oh.
So that's
Sure.
fine.
I'm
I
not
was just
sure
gonna
because
say-
IT, theirs is higher than ours. Oh, no, ours, same thing again.
I
Ours
was
is
just,
higher.
I was going to
I'm in
pick
the
and
wrong column.
We're
choose
just looking
here.
at the ones that they're lower than us.
Okay, tell me what
So,
the rows are.
admin,
Admin,
finance,
finance,
IT,
okay.
public works.
We didn't
The
vote on
Public
the
Works
other
went
ones.
up a little bit, but we want to include that.
And I think that's it.
Oh, that's a
Health,
higher one.
health and welfare
But she means.
Health and welfare is,
went down.
It didn't change.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry. It
that's
went
the
down
same.
from the department requests.
Yeah,
right.
We're just
so
looking
we
at the-
just want to
So we would
match
vote-
selectmen on
4 of them went up.
One, two, three,
3
4
of
of 'em.
them went down.
one up, three
Yeah,
down.
so
one up, 3
We've
down.
already voted all the way through. So we would just revote on administration, finance, IT,
Public
public
works.
works.
Yes.
I would make a motion that we go with the Board of Selectmen figures on those 5 areas.
4.
4.
Can you repeat those areas?
Okay, that is the administration, finance, IT, and public works.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion?
The discussion is for me that 1, 2, 3 of them went down and 1 of them went up.
Yeah.
Yes,
You're right.
that's all I
Correct.
have. Yep,
Yeah.
that's all I have.
Do we have to do a roll call?
Questions.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
roll call vote. We'll start with John Hanson,
Aye.
Shepherd, yes.
Dembitsky, aye.
Lawrence, yes.
Brown, yes.
Jessamine, yes.
All right, it's unanimous. Okay, so now
We go to police.
we go to the police and we see that if there's, you don't happen to have that new figure, do you, Tim?
Yes, it's in the department request column, 2,533,775, and it reflects a reduction of $36,054.
Okay, 25.
2,533,775.
Oh, over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Yeah, we're gonna.
higher, but it's
Yeah,
just
we'll go with the.
the lower one.
Yeah, they will likely vote the department request column tomorrow night. They have not seen this
They're
yet.
going to have to now,
Right.
once we do.
So I'll make a motion. We go with the police at $2,533,775 as department request.
Jessamine, second.
All right. Any other discussion? That clear? Okay, roll call. Start with John Hanson.
Hanson, aye.
Shepherd, aye.
Dembitsky, aye.
Lawrence, aye.
Brown, aye.
Jessamine, aye.
All right. Great. So, and we've done everything else, right?
No, we done the
No.
culture. and
Except for
outside
culture,
agents.
recreation, and outside agencies. So,
Do you want to do Lock My Village and sewer before you tackle those? Just because
okay, sure. We could just,
We don't forget them.
Okay,
Sewer's on here, but I don't see Lockmere.
so the sewer commission.
The
let's
sewer
see.
says 74,386. Where's Lockmere?
Somebody want to make a motion?
Make a motion to accept the
they're
sewer
not.
commission at 974,386.
Second. Any discussion? All right, we'll start with the roll call. John Hanson,
Hanson, I.
Shepherd, I.
Dembitsky, aye.
Lawrence, I.
Brown eye.
Jessamine, I.
Passes. And now we had
So Lockmere Village is
where's
a,
the Lockmere?
so they're a village district. So they did send me their MS 737, and I was planning on bringing that with the town's MS 737 to your public hearing for your signatures.
Okay, so do we need to vote on approving it now, or?
I don't have their budget in front of me. They presented to you, I guess,
Motion to approve of the public. It's
some
fine.
time ago.
Sure.
I have the,
But it is not part of the operating budget as they're a village district.
Right,
so.
we just
what was their request?
have to approve it.
No, it'd be good to vote on it.
Yeah.
I don't have it.
Yeah, I mean, I have it here somewhere, but if it,
I just have
unless
the
it
P&L, but
hasn't changed.
what was their request? I have this.
Does it,
So
Does it have the
basically, they do
request?
even at the end. Expenses meet, are the same as their income, kind of like.
right, well, it's a
supervision.
pass through.
So it's 54,000 and 54,000
Okay, that's,
for fiscal year 25.
so I move that we accept the Locksmere pass-through budget at 54,000. Is that correct?
Well, it's really zero.
Well, no. it's-
54,000 income, 54,000 expense. That equals zero.
So we'll just approve the Lockmere
How do we
budget as,
approve that?
as we,
You have
as
to-
presented.
You-
As presented, yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All right. John,
Hanson, I.
Shepherd, I.
Dembitsky, aye.
Lawrence, I.
Brown eye.
Jessamine, I.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Uh,
So now,
Now we're off to culture and recreation. And
So just to reiterate, the Board of Selectmen had voted the department requests with the exception of Hall Memorial Library that they reduced by $10,000 in their column.
yeah, they have had another large pay increase, which is
They wanted to go from 154 to 173.
yeah,
It's crazy.
they're giving everybody raises. They came in,
Last year they did too.
I don't know. They're trying to catch up to,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
it's still 9,000 more than last year.
How come Park Cemetery went up?
because they need it. If they're such a small budget anyways, they're really,
They struggle.
yeah,
don't
they,
have a
they
lot of
do an
that.
amazing job with nothing.
They have
So-
mower replacements, I believe,
They
and
have some repairs they have to do,
repairs.
buildings,
Does Park Cemetery run all the cemeteries?
just the park
No.
cemetery.
Park
Oh,
Cemetery.
just the Park Cemetery.
The Public Works Department does the other cemeteries.
Okay.
I mean, it's still a $9,000 increase from last year for the library.
Yeah,
I mean, they were at 154 last year,
yeah.
so it was kind of they wanted to go to one.
So yeah, they still went up
They
like
still went up
9,000. Yeah.
9,000. Last
yeah.
year they went up
And they,
significantly.
I'm not sure if they've still filled some of those positions, you know.
Is the discrepancy from the budget was voted on for a certain amount and then at town hall, they did the,
Yes.
Yes.
They will do
that's
it again.
reflected on these numbers? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so they
we-
usually bring.
Yeah.
a
Yeah. No,
detailed-
I know all
yeah,
that. I
yeah.
just wanted to see that those, it's not like we forgot about.
Yeah.
Well,
you
last year
know.
they came and talked about how they wanted to have living wages and they needed
Yeah.
more money,
Yeah.
and they got it.
Yeah.
But now they're asking for another 20,000.
Yeah. Well, I would go with the selectmen's
I would too.
number.
And then they can come out and get
And
it
they,
put back
yeah,
in.
that's fine.
Yep.
Yeah,
Make
I
a
agree.
motion to accept culture and recreation for 209,736.
I'll second it.
What was that number again?
209,730, same as the selectmen.
Okay, 209,736,
Yep.
yeah, okay. For the, okay, yeah. And there's a second?
I did.
Any other discussion? This is,
Aye.
this is the park commission expenses. It's a park maintenance island. It's the Hall Memorial Library. It's the Old Home Day, Tilton events, Memorial Day Cemetery, and the summer concerts.
Yeah, I think we're good with all of that.
Yeah.
Until
And I still think the library is too high.
Oh,
Okay,
what are you thinking?
154 flat funding.
Oh,
this
net
last
fund.
year.
I did
I'm
that
okay with
before
that
and they
too.
came back. Yeah,
I mean,
We
not
did
to be
that
a
last
jerk,
year.
But they went up quite a bit last year.
I like that.
I like the concept of libraries. I certainly do. And back in the day, back when I was a boy, uh, had all the knowledge. Everything was at the library. If you wanted to read, you went there. If you wanted an encyclopedia, you went there. That the libraries were the heart and soul of the knowledge in a community. It's not like that anymore. It just isn't. I have all the knowledge of the world in my right here in this little machine, and we all got one.
no, but libraries in general are
They changed. They evolved.
changing. They're trying to create
I know you
other
can check out a rake. now.
educational.
A rake?
They have various things that have nothing to do with books.
No, right. No, I know they're trying to expand their experience.
Yeah, well, I would like to
I mean,
rein
it's
them
just-
in a
it's-
little
it's-
bit.
Well,
They don't need the staff if everything's electronic.
so we have a first and
That's just
second
me.
on the motion.
I'm going to withdraw my motion.
You want to withdraw your second?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what is the
The
bottom
new
line?
total will be,
No,
with-
Joe needs to
No,
make his
no,
motion.
I want to
If we
reduce
do a
one
flat
specific
flat funding,
line.
that's fine. And I'm fine. They'll come to the meeting
Yeah.
and if they can talk people into it, they'll get what they want.
That
But,
was part of my discussion. What I wanted to discuss on this is I sort of liked how it happened last year, in that there was some frustration that you guys fought and you battled and you did a lot of research and you had a lot of great information. And then afterwards, it's like, that's how democracy works. If
It
they
is.
want to bring people and come in like the Pines every year,
Sure. Yeah.
you know, they brought in a
Yeah. No, and I
bunch of people, voted,
you know it.
and went out the
and
door.
I encouraged
that's-
them here at the
I
meeting. I
encourage you
said,
too. Yep.
if bring it to the meeting.
Yep.
That's where it's decided. So
Yeah.
that's
They'll
the way-
have the opportunity to plead their case.
Yeah.
Pardon-
Let them
pardon me?
plead their
Plead their
case. Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Well.
That's great. So what's
We just
the?
have to be prepared with, what was happened last year compared to this year.
Can we get a quick?
With level funding Hall Memorial, the total should be 200,579. That's my motion.
200, 579.
Yeah.
And which line item?
So
was
we,
for?
That-
we
that
so
would-
line
that'd be
Hall
under total-
Memorial
culture.
0.932.
is now 154, 148.
That would be correct if we vote for that.
Yeah, that's
I'm sorry,
on
what
the
was the number,
table right
Christine?
now. So.
150,
Is that a motion,
154,
Christine?
yes.
154.
Adjustment second
148.
if you're
Thank you.
looking for
148.
And then the
Thank you.
bottom
That's-
line's 200 and 579. That was my motion. Now we need a
200.
Can you corroborate that,
579.
Tim?
Yep.
Yes, I can. That's the correct number,
great.
200,579.
All right, so we have that motion. Is there a second?
Joe seconded.
Adjustment
Go.
Joe
second.
second.
Okay, any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to the roll call. John?
Hanson, aye.
Shepherd, aye.
Dembitsky, aye.
Lawrence, aye.
Brown eye.
Jessamine, aye.
All right. Okay, now we go to outside agencies. And
That's a
Let's see
big
what
one.
we got.
The big one is the
Youth assistance higher.
So as I mentioned before, the selectmen had reduced community action program by $3,700
Yeah, I like
and
that.
the Pines by $35,000. And then level funded the Twin Rivers Food Pantry, eliminated Greater Lakes Child Advocacy and CASA.
No, they reduced food pantry by 500.
Right, level funded it from
Oh,
last
lower,
year.
part, yeah.
Yep.
To 500.
The thinking at the Board of Selectmen was that $40,000 is much more in line with the services that we actually purchase.
Good.
How many people come from Northfield? How many people come from Tilton? And they made the number to reflect that. You know, there's significantly more people from Northfield. Okie dokie. We don't have any say in the building. We don't have any financial interest in the building, and we've always shared it. And I kind of like that. But over the last couple of years, especially, I can see that the number of people from Tilton who go there, it's to be less and less.
well, one of the reasons for that is there's less people
I get
in
that
Tilton
too.
than Northfield.
I
And
get that too.
I personally think that this is a service that
Mhm.
you pay for,
That's correct.
and it's not like by person. I mean, otherwise you need to do the library the same way because there's not as many people in Tilton that use the library as there are in Northfield.
Well,
I mean, you know,
that's what the selectmen voted.
Okay, yeah, I personally don't agree with that.
That's
I think
absolutely
the
fine.
Pines has a very good fundraising strategy. They do very well with that.
I
And
love the Pines.
and I just think we should support them to have that capability for us to use it.
Mhm.
So that's my opinion on that.
Okay.
But
I want to bring up also youth assistance program. For some reason in 24, they asked for 48,353, but we gave them 39,667. And I think they get like a
they
special
get
grant
a
or something, right?
grant, which
So-
They always give it back if they
isn't
get it.
Oh.
isn't included in here this year, right?
They always give it. They always
Yes.
start with a higher number, but then if they get it,
Right.
But I think
Right.
she must, I
That's
think
correct,
she got the
but
grant
they-
before we voted last year.
We didn't
Not gotten the grant for this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to my knowledge,
Right.
it's
Okay.
not coming.
Okay. So I think she got it last year.
She
in
did.
time
She
for
did.
voting.
Yeah.
she's pretty honest about
Yeah.
that. She
Yep.
lets you know.
And she
Yeah.
passed it through to the towns. Yep.
So with some not agreeing, should we vote line by line?
Please.
Okay. I mean, Lakes Region Planning,
Making a motion?
I'll make a motion, we accept the Lakes Region Planning,
At 4270.
4270.
Second.
Any discussion on that? Valuable resource.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wait, you gotta do roll call or no?
yeah, we'll have to roll
Oh.
call, yeah. So,
I'm like,
John Hanson,
Hanson, aye.
Shepherd, I.
Tembitsky, aye.
Lawrence, I.
Brown eye.
Jessman, aye.
Okay, so next would be the Youth Assistance Program.
Make a motion that we fund that line at $54,409.
I'll second. Any discussion? All right, roll call vote. John Hanson,
Hanson, aye.
Shepherd, I.
Tembitsky, aye.
Lawrence, I.
Brown eye.
Jessman, aye.
Okay, now I've got the Community Action Program, and why did you feel that they should have 3,700
$8,300.
less?
They
than-
reduced it by $3,700.
Right.
Personally, I didn't feel like that. But that's what the selectmen came up with.
It was Selectman Constantino who made the motion to reduce it.
Well,
She's the one that fights tooth and nail for visiting
To-
nurse. And
yeah, right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
But she will.
I know last year
Well, if you look at it, last
We
year,
gave them 8,300.
8,300, they used it all. They asked for 12,000 and then they knocked it down to 8,300 again. So at 8,300, it would be same as last year.
Right, okay, level
They asked for
funding.
12,000.
And we
They level funded it.
good with that.
typically look at
Grants,
the,
funds, yeah.
how all the other communities and come up with that number.
And we did that.
So I guess they want to do that.
And make a motion to community action program for 8,300.
I'll second. Any other discussion? Okay, roll call vote. John Hanson,
Hanson, aye.
Shepherd, I.
Dembitsky, aye.
Lawrence, aye.
Brown, aye.
Jessamine, no.
Okay, the ayes
Passes.
have it. Okay, so now we're Franklin visiting nurses. I thought they asked for more than that.
We tried to reduce it to 6,000 the last 2 years,
They come out at town meeting
and they got 10
and
last
that
year.
leads the charge. And
So we can do 6,000 again.
she'll just speak up at town meeting.
Same with library.
We want to listen to her.
I think it's a good agency.
It
but
is a good
yeah.
agency.
What, the visiting nurses?
Yeah,
Absolutely
Huge.
stupendous. The
Yeah.
work they do
yeah.
is very vital. They also run the programs down at the senior center for
Oh,
people
yes,
who
yeah.
can't bend over and
Mhm.
cut their
Yeah, right.
toenails or whatever. And they do blood pressure screenings and
I think,
stuff like that right there at
Yeah.
the senior center on a regular basis.
and I think we all agreed on that. I think when we were practicing last year, we looked at like what they have in the bank and
They
what
have a lot
for
of
right.
money,
medicine.
yeah.
It's a lot of
It
federal
wasn't their
money.
A lot of federal
services.
money.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
That's
wasn't
why
the
we tried to cut it
services.
last
Right,
year.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm fine with leaving it.
I'll move with, we fund Franklin visiting nurses for 10,000.
Jessamine, second.
Any more discussion? Okay, roll call. John Hanson,
Hanson, aye.
Shepherd, I.
Dembitsky, aye.
Lawrence, aye.
Brown, aye.
Jessamine, aye.
All right.
Oh, now the good one here.
Okay, well, I'm gonna move we give the Pines $75,000.
I'll second it.
Okay, discussion.
Oh, there is two.
I like 40,000 better.
I honestly do too, in that just like the library, if they do have the people to come and get us they're all Tilton town taxpayers and they use the democratic process to get it back up. They probably will. And if they do, then it'll be the town speaking for us.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of this committee, call it, is to just try and find ways to save. And if the townspeople come up with it, then
What I wasn't here when they came in. I think I was out sick that day. But what came of us saying, Tilton has less residents using it? What came of all that? Remember, we were sending them a letter and
They understand that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
But in order to run those
But they didn't-
programs, they need a certain amount
Right.
bottom line raised from the town and raised from corporate interests
And
and,
grants
raised in fundraisers.
And this is like 25%. 75,000 is like
A lot.
25% of their budget.
We did
It's a
tell them to
tiny
do
amount
more fundraising.
because
and
they do a
stuff,
lot
so,
of
yeah.
fundraising.
Yeah.
It's not like they're not working hard over
Right.
no, I know they are. They don't have a lot and they do work hard.
there.
But I
Without
understand the discrepancy too.
without
between,
that $35,000, they're going to be in
They're gonna be hurting.
semi-dire straits
They are.
Yeah. Mhm.
as a program.
I think that's pretty drastic. 35,000 is pretty drastic.
I
Yeah.
call the question.
I mean, we only cut the
Okay,
library
so
10.
the motion is for $75,000. We'll do a roll call vote. John Hanson,
Aye.
Shepherd, I.
Dembitsky, no.
Lawrence, aye.
Brown, nope.
Jessamine, damn. Jessamine, yes.
All right. So
It
4-2,
It
it
passed.
passes.
Yep.
And then, hey,
Tips fall where they may.
Okay, so
Tim.
Greater Lakes Advocacy.
Advocacy Center, CASA. Okay. I would, we could just do two of them together.
Yeah.
The Great Lakes
Zeros.
Advocacy Center and CASA, they have a lot of federal money. They really need more help than money, but I move that we don't fund them
Second
as
that.
usual. Any other discussion? Okay, roll call. John Hanson.
Hanson, I.
Shepherd, I.
Dembitsky, aye.
Lawrence, I.
Brown, I.
Jessamine, no.
Okay, the ayes have it for those two. Now we're at the Twin Rivers Food Pantry, and they're looking for 1,600.
I've got 1,100 here
Oh.
on mine.
Oh,
No,
well, that was
1,600, then
what
the
we funded them
change.
last year,
Oh,
right?
No, the
Right.
No,
Okay.
the change that the selectmen took
Oh.
out is 1,100.
Oh, I see. They 16. The selectmen.
They went to 500 again.
And no, they went to 500. So
Well, it was our first year last year. You got to see, and I think I read something that they're not in their spot because of some issues anymore. They had to go to another church. I think rodents or something like that, or bugs.
When they
You
were
don't have
here, they
any
were still in the
information?
Franklin.
I don't have
What?
information on a change in
Yeah, I actually heard a commercial on the radio saying that they're in a new
Yeah.
location.
So they're still running, but they had to ask church till the other place gets taken care of. That's in Franklin. Yeah,
that's where they are in Franklin.
they're at some church now. I think it's temporary.
I just think on the scale of things, this is a tiny little organization that does supply a lot of food to families in need.
I
And
agree.
I just think it's
We have it.
ridiculous to
And they're
lower
part
it.
of the food bank program, so they do get those donations.
I mean, we're
and
giving
such.
thousands of dollars to big nonprofits that have lots of federal money. I just think that this is ridiculous.
Right.
And I like
would
them
leave it at the
because
1,600.
they let people pick the food, so you're not taking food you're never going to eat or anything
Yeah.
like other pantries do.
Right.
You go and you just pick what you're allowed, like whatever number in the row for your family size, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm sure they know the people that, for the most part, that need it.
I know a
Yeah.
couple of people that go.
So did you want to make a motion?
I just
Okay.
more discussion on them is just also while we were talking with them, just doing the math on my paperwork as we were doing it, the number of people, it was the number of households in Tilton that they cover, and the amount they were asking for came to $116 per. That's less than a
That's-
cart
yeah,
per
exactly.
year per
Per
household.
week.
They
Yeah,
all-
yeah.
For
It's
most
one
people.
cart of food
Yeah.
at Hannaford's is
Mhm.
the equivalent cost for a year's worth of help.
Mhm.
And
Like
they
you said, they
allow
could choose what they want. Yeah.
residents to go like 3 days a week. I think it's 2 nights, and because some people still work, so it's not like you can only go one day. They only allowed like some other things in one spot.
So I make the motion, we fund this line at 1,600.
I'll second.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more discussion?
Only to say that I know that food insecurity in this area is at an all-time high in my personal experience. Well, no, not that I'm insecure.
Food and housing.
Food-wise, but
Yeah.
Food and housing is
they're
horrible.
out there, and yeah, the housing. I saw up at the Walmart intersection, people on every corner, literally
Yeah.
today.
Okay. Roll call vote for 1,600 for the Twin Rivers Food Pantry, starting with John Hanson.
Hanson, I.
Shepherd, I.
Dembitsky, aye.
Lawrence, I.
Brown, I.
Jessamine, aye.
Right. All right, so we need a new bottom line for the total outside agencies.
So that's 153,579.
153,579.
Yep.
All right.
All right, I move we, haven't we already voted on all?
We did them all.
So we don't have to.
Right, okay.
What's our total bottom line operating budget?
I have one question before we move on because
579.
I just made
whole
markings of which ones were covered. One thing I'm not sure if we actually adjusted for is town clerk tax collector was asking for 155, 535. Board of Selectmen, it looks like they raised it up above our number by $50. Looking at the reasons why, it was reduced postage by 500, and they won't need to spend $4,000 on new equipment. So
Right.
wouldn't that number be
4,500?
4,500 lower, not 2,000?
Yeah.
Tim, do we
They-
know that we're not gonna have to pay that $4,000?
Not till 26.
No, there's been communications this week. Kim hasn't had a chance to look through them to determine what, but it looks like we're going to have from the Secretary of State's office what we need for town elections. After that, we're going to have to buy our own equipment. We just don't know yet what that cost is. So, but I think we're okay for 25. If I remember correctly, the selectmen increased the training and dues line. They were concerned about making sure the deputy got to the conferences that she needed for certification. So that was one of the other changes that they had made.
But I think his point
Question
is from
does that
155.
does that reflect on the
4,500.
Board of Selectmen budget?
The 153, 234?
Yeah,
Yes, and you can see what makes up that number
for
right on page 4.
452 here increase.
So Stan, I think it's, the
It's-
155 has been reduced based on those also, I think the department request. So it won't show the 45, because it used to be.
So
And it would seem like line item 4140, 570, election preparation, 9,300 this year, a lot of elections.
Something is wrong.
Department requested 5,800. And then selectmen voted for 4,000, we voted for 5,000. Isn't that the line item where that piece of equipment would come from?
That's correct. But we still have to pay for all the other things relating to a ballot, the coding of the machine. You know, there are other costs that we have.
We're just trying to figure out where this 4,500 is coming off, and it's not adding up.
That you said they increased something though, right? Training?
But
Training
not
the-
by 45, right?
So I don't understand the $4,500 difference. So the
Well, it says you reduce
Okay.
postage by
Reduce 4,500.
So in the postage, it took off 500 there, okay, on our, because we
Right.
voted 85, but now it's down to 8,000. And then,
So what he's saying is we didn't take the whole 4,000 out of elections.
No,
We
it was
just-
reduced to $4,000 and the board reduced postage
Oh.
by $500.
okay,
So
so
what
they
was it
actually just-
originally?
they reduced it by 1,800 from the request.
Yeah.
And 1,000 from what we had approved.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
It was
so-
reduced
All right,
to
all right,
4,000, not
It
by.
wasn't a
They just-
$4,000 piece of equipment. We don't
Oh,
have
okay.
to buy
Changed the
anymore.
line to 4,000.
Okay,
Right,
all right,
okay.
all right. That makes
We
more
don't know how
sense.
much it's going to cost.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
It was a
I'll
crapshoot.
find the money.
I just
somewhere.
had that one as one we didn't go back to, or so. Should we?
Ours was lower, so we left it.
The budget committee is $50 lower.
Yeah,
We just leave it the way it is.
I'm good with that.
On
Yeah.
till- Sure.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna, on a total of vote, we've got administration at 786, 429.
So that's selectmen. Oh, we went to that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me
Yeah.
cross that off. Okay, good.
Then the town clerk, town TCTC, it's gonna be 153, 184.
Yeah,
Then finance is 137, 266.
okay.
Long-term debt is 425,736. IT is 117,462. Land use is 152,238. Police is 253,775. Public Works is 812,584. Sanitation is 555,035. Health and Welfare is 97,196. Culture and Recreation is 200,579. And outside agencies is 153,579.
Yep.
Did anybody add that up in their head?
Not reliable.
You got the
Looks
Looks
computer.
like $6,161,499.
What we have Tim for.
If
Can you
I,
Yes.
say it one more time?
well, so let me just go through and make sure I got the right numbers. So admin is 786,429, town clerk tax collector 153,184, finance 137,266, long-term debt 425,736, IT 117,462, land use 152,238, police 2,570,211, public
Oh,
works.
no,
No,
that
no,
one's
that
wrong.
was
Oh, two,
533,
that's, yeah, thank
775.
you. Yep.
2,533,000.
Got it. Hang on. Public Works, 812,584. Sanitation, 555,035. Health Welfare, 97,196. Culture Recreation, 200,579. And outside agencies, 153,579 for a total of $6,125,063. Not including, of course, sewer. Which then gives a grand total of $7,099,449.
Wow, it's down.
Okay.
Okay, do we have a motion to accept that number?
What was the final number, Kevin? 7,099,449.
449.
Okay, so Lockmere doesn't go in there.
Right,
No, there's separate.
that's without
votes.
Lockmere.
It's a wash, remember?
So the total, I move,
Bottom
we
line
accept
budget.
that total,
7,000,099.
099,449.
I'll second it.
Not much to discuss.
Yeah,
I
right.
think we already voted for them all,
Right,
so.
so
That's right.
we'll just do a roll call. John Hanson,
Hanson, aye.
Shepherd, aye.
Dembitsky, aye.
Lawrence, I.
Brown, aye.
Yes, man, aye.
Great. Okay,
Did
we-
you want to?
what
look
about
at-
warrant articles?
Well, I was just going to mention that. If you go to page 13, you'll see the warrant articles that are suggested. And then there is a warrant article to increase the income limits and elderly exemptions separate from these, but these are the capital reserve warrant articles. And the amounts recommended that the board had voted on for a total of $234,428. And
Okay. Here we are.
and you can see what the I'll have to check to make sure. I just got our December numbers, so I'll have to update that. But the balance 12/31, it's pretty close, but it'll be updated for interest. But you can see what we have there currently.
So these are just practically all capital reserve funds.
These are correct. These are all capital reserve funds. Yep.
Okay, do we vote on those here, or do we want to wait till the public hearing?
You can certainly wait till the public hearing and discuss them, and I can have
The actual
The-
articles, right?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I can have
Mhm.
the article, but it's a standard
Sure.
language we use for
Right,
capital
right.
reserve. And you'll also be able to see the exemptions and income limits that the board is proposing.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
time to do that.
That'd be great.
Yeah, there is one other, there's a potential, the board tomorrow night is going to be hearing the cost to reconstruct Academy Street. with the wall there. There's two proposals. One's a little over 400,000. One's a little over 500,000. I did some preliminary pricing on a 10-year note for the board. I don't expect they're going to act on anything tomorrow night, but if they choose to add it to the warrant, it would be about $50,000 a year, roughly speaking. I could probably get a little better interest rate than what I was quoted, but it's going to be just in those high 40s, approaching 50,000 a year for that construction at the lower amount. And that's the only other thing that I think they're going to be, considering to add to the warrant, as far as I know.
Now, I'm just curious, is it necessary? I mean, do we need Academy Street? I'm just curious if the selectmen have
Well, it's a good
discussed
question
that.
for the board.
Maybe we should go for it.
discussed it, but no decision has been reached.
Yeah.
No decision has been reached.
The engineers are coming in to make that presentation tomorrow. And the other thing
one
that
street?
the other thing I was just going to note was that I do have a list in here of the encumbrances that you'll see added to the 2025 budget from 2024 monies. And some of these, some of these things will probably be paid this month as we're getting the invoices for them. So it may not be as much as this, but certainly the larger items of the Academy Street Engineering and the top coat for Morrison and Grants and the stage are going to be in the 25 agreement. And then one of the reasons we reduced the finance budget was because we encumbered the first year of the actuarial agreement, which was $1,925. So those are the encumbrances, which will not have an effect. That's money we're not raising and appropriating in 2025, but it is taxation money that was raised in 24.
That is still there, yeah.
So there's one thing, Bill, that I would say about Academy Street. Even if you closed it and didn't allow big trucks or whatever, cars even, up there, we still have to stabilize that wall. It's already started to fall in. We had one several hundred pounds, big ass boulder that came off the wall and is 6 inches or less from their garage where they store their equipment. So we bit the bullet on that one. Yay, it didn't cost us anything, but gravity always wins, in my experience. And that's sliding downhill. There's various rocks that have already come out, including that large boulder. We have a radar of the road which shows voids underneath the asphalt. Now, does that mean that it's light fill sand? Does that mean it's totally empty? I don't know. But I will say that the rock wall is falling. Go over and take a look at it for yourself. It's not something we're gonna, if heaven forbid the rock wall deteriorates to the point where it crashes into the building, we have to do something about the rock wall and replace the building.
Is that are there buildings on that rock wall? On the south side
I'm
of?
not sure. There's none.
There is
in that,
some on there. There's a
not
Tilton
in
School.
that area.
Okay,
How that ties into the garages that kind of hang off
you're right.
over there, and I think there's a house which may or may not include part of the rock wall and its foundation. That part I don't know. The selectmen thus far have been focused on repairing the wall that's collapsing.
Okay.
And I'm sure the select board will ask the engineers. It's going to have to be solidified and made safe, whether it's an alley for the people behind their house or it's a road for the general public. They're probably going to have to spend at least half of it getting it.
Just so that the rocks don't fall out
Nature always
anymore.
wins. Yeah, nature always wins.
Yeah.
The island will tell us that. Nature always
Yeah.
wins, and she's expensive to fight.
Not only that, if you don't fix it this year, and you wait a year or two, because, the only thing is it doesn't get cheaper in a year or two.
Well, it's been this way for how many years now? So,
Well, we shut the road down because
right.
of the concerns
Mhm.
for the extra weight.
When was that?
At least a year ago.
It was during the summer, last summer.
Last summer, yeah.
I got to
Beginning.
preside over that.
Beginning of the summer, I think. But yeah, eventually it has to be dealt with. So right now we're getting these people to come in that know how to fix these walls and see what it's going to cost.
Not to prolong this meeting, but what are we doing about the island?
The island right now, we have,
So
Tim can probably give you the
Sure.
specifics, but we have a bid on repairing the bridge truss and not replacing the entire bridge, but fixing the parts that make it unusable or make it unsafe.
Okay.
I don't know if you've gone over and looked at it. There's no $1.1 million. This is not that. And my understanding is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we basically have the money.
right.
Grant,
Yeah.
right?
We have a grant.
That's correct. So we have, between the grant and other bridge monies that we received from the state, we should have sufficient money. Granted, we don't have a lot of contingency built into it, but we have sufficient money to cover the costs of the contract with the contractor. Although there still is some determination on the engineering costs that might be added to that, and also a performance bond in addition to that. But basically, over the course of one day, they're going to remove 2 sections of the bridge using a crane. And these cranes cost about $80,000 a day.
Mhm.
And it'll lift it up over the power lines. It'll set it down on a truck. They'll take it away for, 5-6 months, do the work remotely, bring it back, and set it in place essentially, and crane it back into place.
We'll have to
So-
replace boards, no doubt.
Oh, absolutely.
Some are
Yeah.
not all, probably all.
All of them.
And
Yeah,
I do believe there's a repainting thing going on with that, is there not?
Yeah, it's going to be completely brought up, and repaired
For
to a
half
beautiful
$1 million,
standard.
550, not 1.2
So-
or whatever.
What kind of guarantee that another part of it won't break?
There are no guarantees in life. Joe. I
Well, I'm
can
just
walk
curious. There
over
must
there
be a
and fall down
study,
the
a
stairs.
study upon.
So
um,
the majority of our former engineers' plan was not, as it turns out, it was not for the bridge repair itself. It was 2/3 of it, over $1 million, was dedicated to repair of the abutments. However, if you look at these abutments and you study the movement over time, it's almost like looking at a tectonic plate. I mean, these things have not moved very much, and yet the recommendation was that we got to rip halfway underneath Route 3 with a giant L and a whole new wing and all sorts of stuff on the Route 3 side. But we've worked with DOT. We're working with them to ensure that any future changes that they make along Route 3 are not going to impact our abutments, and further look at the abutments by this bridge company and by others have said that those things aren't going anywhere. They've been there for 100-something years, and they're in great shape. It's the original granite.
Well, that's
and,
good. That's good to hear. Yeah.
They've offered, if we really want an extra sense of security, that they can encase it in concrete. But honestly, I think we're going to be in good shape. And the fact that we have the majority of the money already, once we receive the funds from the congressional grant, we will have sufficient monies, and that's something that I'm working real hard on right now.
Great. Thank
on the
you.
grant portion of it.
And I'm sure that'll happen shortly thereafter.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Thank you for getting that, guys.
You have a question?
I just have one more thing for tonight. I just need you guys to sign the MS 737 for the Lockmere Village before you go. I just want to make it part of the record that I asked you guys for it. So just sign it off before you go.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
You want to carry it around while we're
Yeah, pass
on
it around.
camera?
We're waiting.
I Chat with Bill. He's the chair.
Okay, so
Signed it while you were on camera. I just wanted to get the
Yeah.
suggestion out there.
Get her done. The scary cost that we don't see, we see the island, we see that bridge, we don't see the sewer system, which had a 50-year lifespan when it was built 45 years ago.
What am I?
you mean the
Member?
Winnisquam
Yeah.
Basin,
Winnisquam, yeah.
Winnisquam
Vice
Basin
chair.
project?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
I
write
remember
member.
when they came through
Yeah.
town with that
Yeah.
5-foot pipe.
And they're doing a great job staying on it, but like
Yeah.
anything, cost cutting means a little less preventative maintenance, a little less
Deferred
preventative
maintenance.
maintenance, deferred
Some of
maintenance.
those pipes are.
And you know what
like
water
clay.
does to the
But only
island.
one page of signing? I thought they required two.
So when John comes back, he can sign that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
this way we'll at least have 5 of them out of the way.
Sure.
Oh, thank you. I didn't print my name. I don't follow direction
Two.
well.
We did.
I can
You and I
print
did
it
the
out.
same thing. I'm like, I
Followed
hope she
you.
doesn't
That's
see
why
that.
you did it.
So we're all set for
Oops.
next week for the public hearing.
That's
Are we
correct.
done?
And I will, as soon as the board votes
I despise
tomorrow
it. It's my
night,
excuse.
I'll post the budget on the website so that people can take a look at it.
Okay,
And
great.
And now that I have your full votes and tomorrow night I'll have their adjustments to their budget, I'll be able to work up the MS 737 for the public hearing, so you can sign it at the end of that if you like.
When
Great.
is the public hearing going to be?
Next week at 6.
Correct.
Everybody get better. We don't want anybody dropping out.
Do we expect a good turnout?
You never know.
You never can tell
the
because
usual.
of the assessments.
The library
This
Right.
past year.
Right.
And
yeah.
people's houses became more valuable. Even though the tax rate went down, the tax bills, a lot of tax bills went up.
My tax bill went up $600.
Private residents,
Some
and
say
you
it
know
was
what?
ridiculous. I didn't think it was
The
too bad.
the big
Ours
box
doubled.
stores saw a reduction.
My business taxes
How
went
much
up
is yours?
The
twice,
landlord didn't.
but
No.
they're
Yeah,
they're
probably are
artificially
the
low for
Can't
some
double.
reason.
No,
1,200 last year. It was 2,500 this year.
there's no way. You looked
Some
at, you
people,
looked
no,
at both
some
your,
That
people
was the
did
quote, that was
have
the-
a huge.
you looked at what you paid in June and what you paid in December.
No, just from the
Well, that's
from
not,
one, but it's split in half. I just meant that one part
right,
of it.
but your
is double
taxes
from the
didn't
last
double.
one. Oh,
You
we'll
have
see
to
in the
look at
next
your
one.
June and December, add them together, and then
Right.
see what it'll be with this one. Because my neighbor said the same thing, and that's not double. It's
One
$600.
bill
One bill,
double,
yeah.
but not
Yeah,
the whole thing.
yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, we'll see in June what it is. But
Right,
so
right.
far, one bill of it is
Well,
double
December
what
you
it
play
was the
catch up.
last one.
Actually, my first bill at the store was lower than normal, and then the second bill was
Well,
double.
they said
double.
commercials went down a little, right?
No, some of them did.
Yeah, not little guys like me.
But anyway,
The big ones really went down.
the big ones,
They didn't move
the
much.
ones that don't need them.
The ones that don't need the money. That's right.
But I will say that there is help on the horizon because once the preserve, the Anchorage, comes online, what is that going to be assessed
Assessment.
for approximately, Tim?
I don't know, but it will it'll make a noticeable difference. It should make a noticeable difference. Not huge, but you'll see.
We don't give any tax breaks anymore, right?
No,
Okay, good.
No break.
no.
You can
there's
afford to buy
nothing.
a condo on the lake, you should pay your
Well,
full
we're
tax.
not just-
Yeah.
Quite frankly, my personal feeling is we're not going to give people a break to come here to Tilton and build us up into the stratosphere. I mean, certainly not going to give them tax breaks.
Yeah.
Well, you also
Sorry.
have besides that facility, you also have the U-Haul, which
The
will
new
be
one, yeah.
the
Right.
new one. There's a proposed development on Business Park Drive that will be pretty significant amount of money. There's a proposal, which you probably heard about, Wallace Products. That's a very significant amount of money. And across from it, there's a storage and proposed housing across from that where Valvoline is. And that all of those will add considerably to the tax base if they were to come to fruition.
So-
It just depends.
You know that building that's down the hill from Lockmere? It used to be a rug place years and years ago. Is that just someone's like private collection? It's kind of
Oh,
across, yeah. next-
Funsies? Is it?
Yeah.
Is it that
No,
next? Are you
no,
talking about at the end of Church Street?
no. At the,
Oh.
after you go by Lockmere, you go down,
Lockmere Golf.
there's that little, on the same
Oh,
side.
Across from my box.
Yeah,
Across
yeah,
from
Yeah,
my-
Right,
I know what
right.
you're
Is that
talking
just
about.
somebody's personal collection? I mean, I've seen like,
Where are we
I
talking
think so.
about?
I think so. Yeah, it used to be
a
the
rug
rug place. Yeah, Mr. Ball or I can't remember his name.
it's
Very
like he
nice
has
fellow.
a sign out front, but it doesn't really say anything, but he had like some fancy cars parked there and
Yeah.
We used to do car detailing. Is
No.
that- is
No,
that-
it's-
Used to be
Not
a
even
rug
sure
place.
where we're talking.
It's
It's like a big
private.
garage is the
on
building.
the same side
Yeah.
as, Catherine's house.
Yeah,
Oh,
private.
where it used
Sign
to
there.
used to be the floor show.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what
Yeah,
you
yeah.
mean.
It's
Yeah.
like it's like its
Yeah.
own little collection or something.
That's
Right.
correct.
It
Yep.
was supposed to, they have site plan for a kiddie thing.
Well, yeah,
That
that
trim-
never.
Trampoline house or some, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But that never happened.
I just,
Right.
it's just, it looks nice. It's all fixed up, but it never turned into any
It's
kind of
private. Yeah.
it's a private thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious. It looks nice, but
I really think we should.
A
work
motion
with
to
the state-
adjourn.
State together.
Second.
Toll booth.
right.
Okay.
All in favor?
All
yes.
in favor?
Woo!
Aye.
I
Opposed?
Roll
Doesn't count.
call eyes on adjournment.
Have fun, John.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
Dembitsky, yes.
Thanks.
See you next week.
John, I want to see a picture of you with your Mickey Mouse ears.
Yeah, you won't be seeing that.
halfway through the boats, I'm like brown eye.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.